Order, Ms Patten, until 10:40 am.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. In listening to your presentation and certainly looking at the medical industry and certainly the innovative areas, and you mentioned certainly CSL being a very exciting part of that. Invest Victoria's website mentions Australia is the world's largest legal producer of medicinal opium poppies, and certainly in Victoria we've started that industry. Now we know that there's an absolute shortage of pain medication around the world. In fact, World Health Organization estimates that there's 5.5 billion people who have no access to pain medication. We've also found that in Australia we've got a shortage of naloxone, which is also an opioid-related medicine. Is there anything in the budget to support this relatively new industry, and as part of the trade and investment or trade and export?
So it's actually quite ironic that you're asking me about that, because of course about a month and a half back I was able to visit one of the top secret locations here in Melbourne that does the extraction of the poppy and then export it to Europe for processing. And that was, can I again in a very bipartisan way pay tribute to the work of the Napthine government, who assisted in bringing that company in the investment attraction program we spoke of earlier. They brought them over from Tasmania, established their presence in Victoria, and in fact Australia leads the world in legal, shall we say, opium production, and you know, I would look to supporting the expansion of that. And indeed, when I visited the facility, I began discussions with the business about what we can do to support them through their expansion. I think that there's an important role that we need to play, given that we're one of only 4 places around the world that are able to grow poppies for medicinal purposes. I think it's important that we can continue that growth to also diminish the illegal trade in poppies accordingly, although it's used usually for far more nefarious purposes, not commercial production for legalised medication. But this is an area that is growing. It's an area that there is an opportunity for us with our regulatory settings, with our expertise within the biomedical and pharma precincts, to be able to take advantage of and build that industry capability. And that's an area, for example, that Minister Carroll and I work very closely with, because I work to try and attract that investment into Victoria, and then Minister Carroll takes it over from me and then develops that industry and that's sort of the way that we work in well together.